Hey guys, we're going to carry on with our series on the Danish Gambit, and now we're moving away from the Danish fully accepted into the semi-Danish, as I call it. So that comes after e4, e5, d4. This is the centre game, right? So in the full Danish Gambit you offer up 3 pawns, the last of which you would recapture, okay? So this is a centre game accepted. Then you offer pawn number 2 with c3, and black accepts. And then if you're going full Danish, it's possible to bail out here and capture the pawn with a knight, but that's not what we're about. We play bishop out to c4, and the most common move here is c takes b2, and that's actually the best move according to the engine. But black has different ways of bailing out of this situation, and we're going to look at those now. Now, the first one we'll look at is d6. This is the move that we've seen in the full Danish after black takes here and you recapture the bishop. So here, what do you do? Now this is actually equal, equalizes for black, but only if black is accurate. And I've got the engine on here. So we have a couple of options. Queen b3 or knight takes c3, both of which lead to an equal position. Now, what I'm suggesting here is queen b3 because it's lovely and forcing. Okay, you're threatening to capture the pawn on f7 with the bishop. Again, if the pawn just captures here, you just retake with your bishop and happy days, and we're okay. Okay, so there are the most likely moves that you'll see here is black thinking, oh, I need to defend this pawn. So you'll probably see queen to e7 and queen to f6. Now, both of those moves give white a slight advantage. The best move is actually queen d7 here, okay? But let's say we get queen e7, okay? Then you simply recapture the pawn with your knight, because any time the queen moves to one of these two squares, you want to activate your queen's knight so that he can come in to d5 and harass the queen as well as threaten c7. So this is actually perfectly good, and black will probably continue to develop with one of the knights, but this is a reasonable position already with the white pieces. So let's go back just a few moves. Okay, so we've looked at so queen out here. Now, so we've looked at queen e7, right? Now, if queen to f6, it's the same kind of deal. Again, you just capture with your knight, and again, you're threatening to come in here. Nice centralized knight, nice amount of pressure, and black's only developed piece is the queen. So that really is not an ideal situation for black, and you should go on to do very well from that position. Okay, now the best move from black is actually queen d7, but this is a bit less intuitive. Still defends the pawn here. Okay, and now you can again go ahead and simply capture there. So with accurate play now, the best move here by black is knight to c6, all right, and that is basically equalizing. Here the engine says you drop your queen back to c2, but you should be, you know, it's game on from this position basically. All right, so let's go back to here. And that was d6. What other options does black have? Right, some of these are okay, some of them are less okay. Right, so knight c6 is a very natural developing move, and this gives black a slight edge, according to the computer, because we are a couple of pawns down, right? But it's still only 0.2, okay? So with here, you develop your opposite side knight, which is very typical, you know, competing for the same central squares. And if c takes, you recapture with the bishop, bishop b4 check, and we're into kind of familiar territory. I think here knight to c3 is perfectly okay. Knight to d2 is something we've already seen as well, but it has to be noted that your bishop is now looking down at g7. So black has to tread, you know, fairly carefully here. In fact, what did the engine say there? It said knight to c3 is preferable here. Knight to d2 is better for black. So knight c3 here. And we've actually blocked off our bishop's view of that pawn. But, you know, we can now go ahead and castle. centralize the rooks and go and cause mischief over there. Okay, so back to this position. Other ways of declining, knight to f6 is also, as we can see, kind of equalizing for black. Again here, you simply capture the pawn. You've got a development lead. We are protecting this pawn with the knight, of course, and with best play, you've got knight c6 is good, you've got bishop to d6 is good, although not very intuitive there. If d5 is played now, then you can just capture with the pawn and proceed from there. So I will give you the link to this, so I'll just save that. I'll give you the link to this so you can browse all this on chess.com as well. Okay, now after e5, you've also got another option here, which is nice, which is actually queen e7. If black plays queen e7, now this is better for you. Okay, so black's thinking, okay, you're attacking my knight, but I'm going to pin the pawn. All right. Now, if they do that, if you're a Danish Gambit player, you will be very familiar with this idea, right? If black pins the pawn, you unpin with your queen, and again, the knight is now effectively hanging, so the knight will retreat all the way to g8. We've seen this time and time again in the Danish, and then you just carry on and capture the pawn here, and you'll go on to have a very comfortable game. The computer's got white +3 already at this point. All right, back to here. And what else does black have? Now, how can black hold on to this slight edge that he has? Well, we've looked at knight c6, we've looked at knight f6. Oh, bishop b4. And you can see the evaluation bar. Suddenly black has thrown away his advantage. Why? Because of the very, very obvious b takes c3. It's defended by your knight, it's hitting the bishop, and the bishop is going to have to bugger off. So off he goes to c5, and here, pause if you need. White has a very nice move. It's the only one good move. You can see it in the analysis lines here. Boom. Okay, anytime this bishop sets foot on that square, you have this option. Bishop takes f7 check. Okay, how many times have we seen this? King takes, and now queen d5, and we have us a fork. Okay, so we're going to regain the minor piece, and after the king retreats and you capture the bishop, what's black got? Right? Black has just got 3 missing pieces. We also have 3 missing pieces. Yes, we've got an isolated pawn on the c-file, but we've got a queen out on the board, and most importantly, this guy has lost the ability to castle. So that's not very good, right? Equally bad from black would be to decline with the immediate bishop c5, and then same deal. Just capture on f7, the king captures, queen there, boom, bada boom. Again, if the pawn goes on to take here, you should be captured with the bishop, and now we are looking at g7 as well, and the computer likes white again here. All right, now other options, again from this position, we bring out our bishop, and black gets the willies and doesn't want to keep gobbling up pawns because he smells a rat. What about queen f6? Okay, and this kind of looks okay, but again, you know, we know what to do here. When the queen goes to either of these 2 squares, you recapture with a knight, okay, and we're threatening to come in and look at both of these. If the bishop comes out, we don't sweat, just block with your own bishop, and we've got 3 pieces developed. Now they can't bring out their king's knight to f6, so it might bring out the knight to there. You just develop your knight, and you will go on to have very, very good chances in this line as well. I think that's more or less it, isn't it? I think we've done all of the options for black. They're the most common ones that you will find, but really there's nothing mad to be afraid of here. If black doesn't go all the way and accept the full Danish, so the semi-Danish again is going to lead to comfortable positions. So as always with these gambit lines, you want to be on the front foot. You want to be constantly looking for ways to move your pieces up the board, take the game to black, and if you possibly can, prevent him from castling. If you can prevent black from castling in the Danish, then you should have perfectly good compensation for your missing pawn or two. And that's all you really need to know about the Semi-Danish. Thanks for watching. I'll see you soon.